be able to see up here. What's that peacock? Okay, as you might be able to see up here, I've got the headers run and the sprinklers installed on both sides, here and here. And back in that corner over there, I've got the water system, or the water source put in. Let me show you about that a little bit here. Now you see both of these headers basically come over here. And you can see one of them, the pipe goes up over there and then it joins right there in the middle. And then this header over here comes this way. Got a T-joint right there, and then it goes over here to the output of the pump. Remember we were putting the pump up the other day. So what I've got here is, there's the pump, there's the output. Now this is an old valve, and I hope it's still in one piece, but we'll find out when we turn it on whether water comes out of here or not. If it does, we'll have to put a plug on that. But anyway, and then here's the suction, and we've installed all that into this system. As we, let's back up a little bit so you can see a little better. As we told you. Now, another thing, the source of the water, like I said before, what I've got here is a livestock tank level, and there it is, and a garden hose hooked up to it. Now the garden hose hooked up to this over here. And this is something I didn't explain to you the other day, is I have a watering system that circulates into the chicken coop, and then up there I've got a greenhouse on the back and some other water sources. And basically what it does, this is a loop that circulates during the summer and the winter, and the reason it circulates is to keep it from freezing when it gets really cold out here. And the source of this is back here in what I call my pump room. Let me turn the lights on. Yeah, you can see something here. But what we've got here is I have two 500-gallon tanks of water, and they are filled with this source right here. And it's just a 1/4-inch tube and a, well, you probably can't see that, but it's a regular swamp cooler float. Now the reason I do that is because I am on a well, and this is also the source of water for some radiant heating we have, and also for a jacuzzi. I'm on a well, and I can't just turn the water on the well, or the well will starve in no time flat. But I can basically turn on something that's a trickle charge, you know, less than a gallon a minute, and let it run 24/7 if I need to. And it's surprising how much water you get when you do it that way. Anyway, this system here runs like that, and there's the radiant heating system back there. And then here is a water heater, gas water heater that I use to heat the water in the wintertime. And here is a electric water heater. And as you can hear right now, you might be able to hear it buzzing a little. It's running right now. But, you know, electric heat is expensive and so forth. This is running off of solar power. I'll explain that sometime later, but this is a waste, a dump for solar power that I have when I have too much. Anyway, so that's where the water comes from. And it circulates. See these two hoses? They go out right there, outside. And they come out here, right here. There's the two hoses. Anyway, they go to the chicken coop and back, and then they go back to the greenhouse back there, and you know, several places. And then one of the things I have done is I have tapped off here, and let me turn this on again. And this leaks a little bit, but it's just up here temporary. I had to cut this in here last night. And the idea is this tank gets used when you water the system, and then it refills, trickle fill, just like inside. Because, believe it or not, that much of a tank of water, was that a 40 or 50 gallon water heater inside? That is much, much more than enough to water this whole thing, you know, twice a day. You use it twice a day, and this whole place will turn into mud if it's a greenhouse and all boxed in and cared for properly. Now that we've got that, let's turn it on and see if it works. So let me put this camera back on the tripod and hopefully out of the way of where it might rain. So bear with me for just a moment here. Let's put it out here where hopefully no sprinklers are going to get, because I know cameras don't like water. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, if this works, you should see it. Okay, I haven't tried this before. I should have rehearsed it, but I didn't. So here we go. Let's see what happens. So here's my cord. Now I'm going to install a proper timer and everything, but for now I just have to get this ground wet so I can work it. So here we go. Pump is running, we got pressure. The valve is holding. Holy moly, I'm getting wet. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, I adjusted that far one over there. So let me turn it back on and see how it works. You know, it looks like this is going to do the job. And you can see how much water you get. It's just a, here we go. Anyway, rather than talk, here we go. Okay. Alright, all good. Go down there. Area everywhere is getting wet. This is great. Now what you do, you put this on a timer. You put this on a timer and you do this a couple of times a day, maybe once a day, and that's really all this thing needs. So let's unplug it now. By the way, the pump here was registering about 40 pounds. Now look down in here. You see, you go down in there. Let's see, I'm going to drop this. There we go. It's about halfway down, maybe a little more. So we didn't use much water, but look at the result here. Everything here is wet. And I realize that, yeah, it's wet, it's been bone dry. But if you do this, like I say, once, maybe twice a day for just 1 minute, and only use that much water, you do that over and over again, and the ground gets very, very nice. Now here's another reason, another thing I got to do. I noticed this morning. This is annoying. You see that plant? What's wrong with that plant? That's a grapevine. I don't know if you saw that in the other videos, but it was full of leaves right up to here. These deer that we have around here, I call them other names, but they eat these things. They just ate all the leaves right off of this thing. So what I've got to do as well, that's the reason I put the sprinkler in, is to help this grow and to help this one grow. See, they ate the leaves off of that one too, if you can even see it right there where my shadow is. So I've got to put up something over there, a fence. That's the last area where they usually won't jump into a place like something like this if they don't have to. But then here's the asparagus. So this watering system is going to work. I'm going to have to tune it up a little bit, have to get a couple more sprinkler heads and maybe adjust where the sprinklers are, but it is going to work. And I'm going to turn this thing on daily while I'm building this, because I want to start growing something in here, because it's getting a little late in the season. And even though it's not all closed in, as long as the deer don't get in here, you know, it's summertime, so things will grow in here quite nicely. It is August 30th today, and I just wanted to show you an advanced copy here, some photographs of what the result was of being able to water this thing. Now, take a look at my asparagus over there. I had some corn seeds planted, and they're too tall, but they weren't even up when I put the watering system in. And look at these plants over here. These grapevines. Remember how I was complaining about this one here was just some nubs on the ground? and that one too. And look at this; they're all the way up at the top. I've had to cut them, and I better cut them again because they just keep growing too tall. So this is the result of being able to water this thing. Oh, and by the way, there's a tomato plant right there. You can see it. There's another tomato plant. Now these were put in here in little pots. When I put them in, they were just small. You know, they were, I don't know, 2-3 inches tall. It's done that in just a few months. But anyway, yeah, there's another tomato plant there, another one there. Some stray corn. I'm surprised these came up at all because I didn't water them well, and actually I thought the peacock came in here and he was eating them as fast as I was planting them, so I thought he got them all, but apparently there was a couple that he did not get. But anyway, that's what watering does, and there's the system, and it works great. And there's a timer that's attached to it. It goes twice a day for 1 minute, and it works just great.